Continuing from the previous movie, we're now ready to write out the rest of the script to get our navigation working. Open up the Actions window and click after the open curly brace, and let's add the next 2 lines of script. You'll notice that the cursor should be blinking in an indent position. I'm going to go ahead and write out the next 2 lines of script for you. Let's move this over. The first one is a remark, conditional, to check which button has been clicked. And then we're going to go ahead and add an if conditional for, notice, not the home button, for the page 1 button. That's because we're going to go ahead and test this script first, and because our stop action is keeping the playback head in the first frame or the home page, we want to write the script out for the page 1 button so we can check and move that off of that page. Now click after that last closing parentheses and press the Enter key to add a couple lines here. You'll notice right away that the lines don't really matter, so I like to add a lot of spaces between my code lines so I can read it very easily. Now the next line is going to be an open curly brace, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to and stop page 1. Now let's go ahead and close this opening curly brace right there. You'll notice that you'll need matching curly braces everywhere we write them, as well as matching parentheses. You'll also notice that the closing curly brace is no longer indented, so that these curly braces not only match in type, open, close, but also match in position. Go ahead and let Flash do that formatting for you. So we're almost ready to test this first button. Remember, I mentioned that you want to be checking your scripts as you write them. I can't check this conditional yet. I need to add now something called an event listener. I'll be covering more theory about why you are scripting this the way you are. But let's go ahead and add now a couple extra lines, and now the next several lines of script look like this: // for the comment, my event handlers after the last function curly brace, home button, add event listener. Notice that the add event listener is in blue. That represents a reserved word for Flash. And then mouse event click, handle click. Now this is the event listener for the home button. See right there, home button. We need to add an event listener. Let's move that back over there for the page 1 button, because I can't test my home button yet. Let's do the page 1 button next. So I'm going to add the script, add a couple lines. Here is the event listener for page 1, page1_btn.add event listener. Don't forget the open parentheses. And then mouse event.click, handle click. So now I'm finally ready to test the lines of script that I've added here since I added the stop action. Before we do that, you might want to make one last check that all of your scripting matches mine. You may even want to pause the movie. Notice that you have different color indicators here. The page 1 over here for the go to and stop method is in green. I have some blue text and some black text, also some gray text for the comments. There is my function conditional. My event handlers are down here. I've written 2, one for the home button and one for the page 1 button. I haven't written the conditional for the home button yet. That's okay. I've got my event listener ready for us. Now to test our scripts, do Control Test Movie. And again, you want to do a little mind test and see, okay, now what should happen when I click on the various buttons? Now I haven't added the scripting for the home button. I've added the event listener, but I have added the event listener and the method, the go to and stop method for page 1. So what should happen now when I click on page 1 is that this label should change from home to page 1. And it does. Notice that none of the other buttons are working, including the home button. So everything looks good so far.